Good afternoon from a very snowy, blizzardy Kyiv. Oh my god. Oh, luckily I just put a phone case on this. I somehow had this crazy idea that it would be beautiful to show you Kyiv in the snow. I saw some photos from this area yesterday during our first snow. And who knows how much longer it's going to be safe to stay in Kyiv. So here I am today. Unfortunately for most people, they don't have the luxury of leaving. This is their home. So no matter how cold it gets or how dangerous it gets, they don't really have anywhere else to go. At least the kids are making the most of it. They're playing on the tanks. I don't think this would be allowed in the US. Imagine this. Imagine this in the US. Little kid on a tank in front of the government building. Everything just looks so different. Days apart. Summer in Ukraine is actually pretty easy, even during war, even with blackouts, even with everything that's going on. But as soon as winter hits, you realize how tough life is. It's windy out here, guys. When it's cold out, everybody has to have some coffee. Well, today's my day off, so I decided to have some lunch with some friends, and then they dropped me off near here because they have a meeting nearby. And the photos have been really beautiful. Something about taking pictures in the snow, and everything's covered. It's just it's a nice way to capture this world, you know? Like literally just walking around. Everything is photogenic. Everyone is photogenic in the snow. It's amazing. This really feels like a different world. I was here not so long ago when there was an otter or something. I can't remember what it was. But yeah, it was an otter bathing in here. Yeah, people live around this area. It's not just churches and beauty. Actually, it was here. It was this little hill, this little sitting area with the little fountain. I actually think they call this Lithuania Square. I'm not sure why. I don't know if it was donated by them, but if it was, Achu Lithuania and all the partners who support Ukraine. It's so hard to focus on the color here. There's so much white. It gets blown out. So cool. Such a beautiful, beautiful place, guys. So much history here as well. I've been taking so many photos here, just people from my memories. To be honest, I've been doing it for a long time, but I also made an Instagram for street photography. You can follow me at jstillphotos on Instagram if you like this type of art. I think it's art, you know? Like, for me, YouTube is fun. I like to share what's going on in my life, travels, food, of course. So people say, Johnny, you should make a food channel because I like food so much. And I joke with them back saying, this already is a food channel. So, you know, this is my hobby, my life, but I really like taking photos of people. I've always liked street photography, and it's always been really interesting to do it here in Ukraine because everybody's interesting. I don't know what it is, just everybody has some character in their face. Everyone's been through so much. Everywhere I look, from the babushkas to the people, look around me. All these people are interesting. How's that not interesting? Look at these two people crossing lives, the Cayenne West style and the old, you know, old Ukrainian babusha style. It's so funny how they spell this Ukraine. What do you guys think of it? Is it a good tagline or is it terrible?
Welcome to Ukraine.
I realized that even though I passed by this place a million times, I've never been inside before. Let me see if it's possible actually. I think I tried once, but they happened to have some event happening at that time, some like art exposition, and you know, tickets are expensive. But hopefully today is just like a normal church day. You know, even if there's a small entrance, I'll pay for it. I do remember that in Europe, or some countries, churches are supposed to be for free for everybody, so you can go pray. I'm not in their way for their photo shoot. How am I gonna pass this? Looks like someone else walked past through it already. Alright. Let's see what it costs to get inside, or if it's even open. Find some solitude in the church, like they used to. Some solstice, I guess, some savor. Ticket office is open, that's good. Okay, so it's 200 hryvnia to go to the territory in the church. And the refectory, whatever that means. I won't do the bell tower.
This price Ukraine,
Uh-huh.
this English.
Okay, дякую. Alright, so I made it inside. It was 200, which is like $5 or $6. And this gives me access to the territory as well as inside the church itself, which I'm glad I paid for because it's cold out here. But I'm assuming they use this money to upkeep the church and the grounds, which is nice. Oh, I can also go to the, can I go to this? I'm not sure. Let's find out. The refectory. Hello. Yes, please. All right. So we have some frescoes from the church. Unfortunately, all these are copies. I'm not sure where the originals are. They might have been stolen to Russia. But these are from the 12th century, which is really nice. Mosaics as well. Definitely interesting to see. People used to be so small when they mummified people. I guess I'm not the only one coming into the church today, but it's definitely an interesting place. I guess this is a good place to do it, but I've been self-reflecting a lot the last day or two with all the missile strikes and the cold and the winter coming. Thinking, what am I doing with my life? Reading all the comments on YouTube, a lot of them, very supportive, very, kind, and then some of them are like, no offense, but you're an idiot for staying in Ukraine when you have a US passport and you can go anywhere else. I'm like, well, you're not wrong. I mean, they're still rude, but they're not wrong. I'm not like tied here for any significant reason. Does that make sense? It'd be a different story if I was born here, if I couldn't travel for some reason, maybe I had family here. I didn't have the money, if I didn't have the documents to go, if I was within the conscription parameters, you know, being like a male between 18 and 60 in Ukraine, like they can't go anywhere, and I can. So I should feel very fortunate, and I should take advantage of it and just get the hell out of here, you know. Russia's ICBM or the conventional warhead put on a ICBM shot at medium distance, so technically some people would call it a IRBM or whatever, you know, whatever it is. That was to simulate, hey, we can nuke you if we want to, we can flatten the city. And on one hand, we don't want Russia's threats to work and everyone to leave and stop supporting and fighting for Ukraine, because then the terrorist wins.
Zelensky says Putin is terrified. Fuck you, man. Fuck you people. You fucking people are about to start World War III.
This has been an important week for the war in Ukraine in the sense that both the US and Russia have ramped up rhetoric. Washington has, of course, given Ukraine the green light to fire long-range missiles within Russian territory. Meanwhile, Putin has threatened the West with a brand new ballistic missile. So break it down for us. What's going on and why now?
Okay, this is called, from the Russian point of view, intimidation of not only Ukraine but also the West. And as far as the United States is concerned, Joe Biden's coming to the end of his mandate. He's decided to give the green light for the use of these long-range missiles into Russian territory to hit Russian munitions depots, which has been a red line for Vladimir Putin and for the Russians since the start of the war. Several of those red lines have been broken since the start of the war. This is why we've seen this ramping up of the pressure by the Russian President Vladimir Putin, the firing of this Oreshnik missile this week. But when push comes to shove, there's not an awful lot at the moment that Vladimir Putin can do, because if he starts using nuclear weapons, that's going to push this war into a much more dangerous situation. And he knows that although he's been threatening nuclear weapons for months, if not since the start of this war, I don't think anybody really wants to take him seriously on that, because he knows that the day he uses a nuclear weapon against Ukraine, then that is going to open up the door to other nuclear nations using nuclear weapons against Russia, which is something, of course, that he doesn't want.
But at the same time, I personally don't need to be here. I personally can say, you know what, leave it for the, you know, real Ukrainians that live here, that work here, that have family here. Why should I suffer the cold? Why should I spend all my time and effort and money supporting Ukraine and helping Ukraine? You know, I've done enough, right? You know, all my friends have actually left, even a lot of my Ukrainian friends have left. So why should I suffer, you know? But at the same time, I understand that I'm in a very unique situation where I can help. I had this big YouTube channel. I have the reach to the Western audience a lot of people don't have. Like this guy, this is all he can do to help. What, like, he can drive this on the front line maybe, or he can be here. That's it. For thousands of years, Ukraine has survived without me. Why do they need me now, right? Look how beautiful this place is. It's a tough choice, guys. If I didn't have my plane ticket already booked, I would consider leaving every day. But because I have it already for next month, I'm like, okay, I can wait. I can wait longer. You know, talk to my mom, and she's like, Johnny, please, please go hide in the shelter at least. If you're not gonna leave Ukraine, you know, me and my mom have had this fight and argument too many times in the beginning of the war, where she didn't want me being here, you know, for obvious reasons. But now she's like, please just go to the shelter, you know. And when there was that big attack the other day, you know, I definitely considered it. And nowadays, I think it's prudent to do so. So this is also a reconstruction, but from 1633. Really cool. Oh, this might be original actually. Well, here we have it. This is an original coffin or sarcophagus of Yaroslav the Wise from 1054. Wow. Look at this detail in here. Oh, this is really cool. This is an old forged sword from the 10th century. Out of iron, copper, and silver. And they actually got that from the bottom of the Dnipro River, right by Truskafy Island, which I've actually been to. Imagine finding that. How cool is that? And if you look up, there's all these beautiful paintings everywhere. So all this is from the 11th century, and you mind? He's restoring some of it now. Where are you working on?
I'm working on this place. Someone has scratched
Oh no.
them, and now I'm coming it.
Back to the original. Okay. Thank you for that. In general, there's not very much graffiti in Ukraine, which is good, but I guess in every country there's going to be some asshole. Maybe it was even a tourist who did it. Well, the second floor is even more beautiful. I'm glad I came up here. I almost did it. And up here you can see there's a story between all of these. And of course we have a beautiful photo shoot here. Really, really beautiful here. So I just happened to run into the famous chef in Ukraine while here. And it's his birthday tomorrow, so big happy birthday.
Hello guys, my name is Yevgen Klopotenko and I'm a Ukrainian chef.
That looks like a Keanu Reeves 3D hologram. This is Yaroslav the Wise, of course. That's interesting. You know, it's always interesting to be in Ukraine. Like, I think if you ever are depressed or in a bad mood or just have one of those days, you just go for a walk. You go to a museum, you go to a church. You never know who you're going to run into, who you're going to meet. So, yeah, I'm glad I came. Still plowing snow. Man, it is getting dark early. Like, I literally just had lunch like 2 hours ago. It is 4 p.m. My phone's already struggling to keep up with the lighting. Let's go home, guys. I am genuinely curious. Is this normal to feel this way? To have all these doubts, you know? No, I guess if I wanted to break it down, helping Ukraine and being in Ukraine and doing whatever I can, I know I'm doing the right thing. But sometimes it's hard, you know? Sometimes I just I wish I could just go to sleep and wake up and have everything go back to normal. Is that too much to ask for? Am I being naive or wishful thinking? Or should that be the normal state of things, you know? Who knows? Who knows? Who knows what the future is going to hold for Ukraine, for Europe, for the US. Everything's up in the air now, guys. Some people think it's going to be full of money and fortune and things are going to be good. Some people think it's going to be fucked. I was just talking to one of my good friends in the US. He has a kombucha business, and he's very excited that Trump's going to be taking office. Not necessarily, you know, because Trump's a good person or he agrees with his, like, you know, immigration rules or anything like that. But just as a business owner, he's like, man, you know how much trouble it was and how much bureaucracy there was to open a kombucha business, or even just like use the, you know, just all these things. Like, for example, he rented a former kitchen and he wanted to leave everything exactly the same just to save time and money, and it was like the perfect space. The city still made him redraw all the plans. He's like, why am I resubmitting the plans? They're exactly the same. I'm just taking it over. And they're like, nope, everything needs to get redrawn. $3,000, $8,000, whatever it is. You know, so stocks might go up. The U.S. might, you know, be America. It's going to be America first. I'm probably going to do okay because most of my money is in my retirement account and U.S. stocks.
So I think when you take a look at the market's reaction this morning, very much they are viewing Trump's policies as pro-economic growth. I'm curious, how do you see this playing out under a second Trump term?
Well, certainly the most striking difference between the Biden administration and what probably would have been the Harris administration and Mr. Trump is in the regulatory area. The Biden administration has imposed $1.7 trillion of costs on the private sector in not yet 4 years. That's double what Obama did in 8 years. During his 4 years as president, Donald Trump imposed $40 billion of regulatory costs. So it's just night and day different on the regulatory front. There's no reason to believe that that'll be any different the next time around. I think that was a key part of the surge that we saw in 2017. The small business sector, the optimism went up dramatically.
But is it good for society? Is it good for the world? Is it good for, you know, the division of rich and poor? Probably not. And I'm lucky that I'm probably on the side, at least like savings wise, in the top maybe 20-30%, so I'll be okay. But the division of the rich and poor, it's going to go catastrophic, you know? Especially if you're not making $100,000 a year, you're not going to be able to survive. Some people say, you know what, screw those people. They're not hustling to make $150,000, $200,000 a year. They shouldn't be surviving. But for me, I think that people should be able to live on a teacher's salary. You know, not just because I'm a teacher, but just because in general, that should be the benchmark. If a teacher can't live a normal life, something's wrong. Guys, don't worry. This is a food vlog after all. I'm not going to leave you without eating something. This is Thaiski Puliemi. It's a Chinese restaurant. It used to be the best in Kyiv before the war. Fortunately, they changed owners. Now it's just okay. Are we done? I decided to get some hot and sour soup, also called Swan La Tang, which actually doesn't mean a hot and sour soup. It means a sour and spicy soup. Well, I guess hot, some people call hot. Spicy. Well, the power just went out, but I have my Puliemi here and my hot and sour soup. Like you can see, there's no lights anywhere. Welcome back from Ukraine, guys. How funny is it that we're just sitting here in the dark eating this life in Ukraine? Welcome to my dinner, guys. Sitting in the dark, eating my Puliemi and my sweet and sour soup, hot and sour soup. Subtle sound generators, the dark night. Welcome to winter. We're here. It's official.